Well, as Nico mentioned in the chat earlier, um, a couple days ago, we got on Blu-ray David Lynch's The Elephant Man,
The master.
which is I haven't seen this movie since high school, so I got to say right now that the movie that this reminds me the most of is Todd Browning's classic 1932 film Freaks, which he made to showcase all these carnival performers that unfortunately are ridiculed by society, and of course their their fellow human beings who work at the circuses and the carnivals back in the day and everything. Well, The Elephant Man is based on a true story of a man named John Merrick, although it was found out after the movie came out that his real first name was Joseph Merrick. Yes, and he was born with severe deformities. A monstrous face, and yet at the same time, he was really a very intelligent man with a lot of dignity, and that's really the theme of the movie is about a man's dignity. David Lynch made it shortly after his first film, Eraserhead, and this, of course, was years before Dune. And as I said before, the reason why I wanted to do this was because of the fact that I wanted to return to this movie after so long, because I remember such vivid memories watching it. I mean, it's filmed in gorgeous black and white, and Criterion, they went out of their way. I mean, Criterion usually does a pretty good job when it comes to going above and beyond. Okay, so yeah, the booklet has a lot of great imagery and pictures from the movie, as you can see, and as with usual, they have plenty of extras that I just wanted to briefly mention here. The booklet has 2 essays, as you can see right there. And like I said, gorgeous photographs, as you could see. And I wanted to read real quick about the transfer. The Elephant Man is presented in its original aspect ratio of 2.35. Black bars at the top of the bottom of the screen are normal for this format. New 4K restoration undertaken by Studio Canal from scans of the 35mm original camera negative made at Silver Salt Restoration in London. The restoration was carried out at L'Immagine Ritrovata in Bologna, Italy. Director David Lynch worked closely on the new color correction with George Coran at Photochem in Burbank, California. The audio presented is the original stereo mix of the film. A brand new ingest of the film's original magnetic print master was done in 2019. Digital restoration of the track was done to repair punch-in and clipping artifacts, as well as unbalanced channel signal and dropouts. The entire soundtrack was then reviewed by Lynch at his asymmetrical studio, where equalization choices were made to extend bass frequencies in certain scenes and ensure that the soundtrack was as close in spirit as possible to the original presentation. Now, I got to say, I'm all for bonus features. I've been an audio commentary junkie, for 20 years. Now, while Criterion doesn't provide any audio commentaries for the movie, I'm telling you right now, there's at least 5 hours of bonus features. Yeah, I mean, wow. It will take you at least it will take you a while to get through all of them, and I'm just going to list them all as quickly as possible. We have 4 interviews, one with John Hurt, who played John Merrick. He was in Alien and many other films. His interview was 20 minutes, and he actually suggested to David Lynch that we wait until the second act, until we have the full reveal of John Merrick's face and body. And that's why there's a great scene at the start of the second act at approximately the 30-minute mark where a nurse comes into the hospital room where Merrick is staying and just screams. And that's when we get the absolute full reveal, when before we saw him from behind or in the shadows. And it was actually John Hurt that came up with that idea. He also talks about, of course, the makeup process. This is legendary because he spent 7 to 8 hours in the makeup chair applying all this makeup. And he would work alternate days. So he would work one day, get all the makeup on him, and do basically 2 shooting days, get all the makeup off, and then he would have a day off and everything. There was hardly any improvisation. They went directly from the script. He also said he was terrified of Sir John Gielgud because he said that he was like a personal hero to him and everything. And also the final thing about John Hurt is that this was 1980, and so he had finished the majority of the infamous Michael Cimino movie Heaven's Gate. And they were still shooting because Cimino had spent millions and millions, or wasted millions of dollars making this epic movie. John Hurt had so much off time that he made The Elephant Man while he was making Heaven's Gate. And when he was done with The Elephant Man, he went back to Heaven's Gate and did the entire prologue, which was the same budget of The Elephant Man. The second interview was with Frank Connor, who was the stills photographer. Third interview with Jonathan Singer, the producer. There was a Q&A at the BFI, which was very, very interesting. There's also an interview with David Lynch, obviously 25 minutes. The interviews, I think, are terrific. And there's also, there's also a lot of, there's also a lot of archival features. David Lynch at the AFI, documentaries about the real Joseph Merrick to give you all insight into the real person and everything. Let's see. Plenty of other interviews. And finally, there's also a 70 minutes audio recording of David Lynch and co-author Christine McKenna reading from their 2018 book, Room to Dream. So, as I say, this Criterion is just loaded with, just so many bonus features. And I like I said, this is a wonderful, wonderful purchase for anybody who is seriously thinking about picking it up.
Elephant Man is it's a strangely powerful film, but it's also a film that holds you a little bit of arm's distance until it decides to suck you right in. The decision to film it like something from the late 30s is really striking, but always kind of pushes people away. I think like Lynch decided intentionally to make it difficult to get into the world until you were in, and then he knew he could just emotionally control you. So I think it's a powerful film, and I think it's just as experimental in its own way as Eraserhead, but it's commercial enough to have gotten the 8 Academy Award nominations. Now, it didn't win anything, and I'm not sure it should have necessarily won anything, but I think the fact is I can't think of another film as weird, except Mulholland Drive, that also got nominated. I think that it's nice seeing in these waning days of physical media a film like this getting a release, because it couldn't have been anything. It couldn't have been just a money play. It doesn't make any sense. And Criterion obviously know their brand, but of all Lynch's films, I got to think that this is probably the one that is probably like the commitment buy for a lot of people. I mean, it's a film about, wanting to sleep like a regular man. So I think it's really brave for them to put it out, and I commend them. It's going to be really important that people go out and actually buy this movie, though, because this kind of thing is going to get less and less, because as the formats fade, films that exist in the margins of our culture are going to have a harder time getting released. So please, if you love Elephant Man, just buy the damn thing, would you? Please.
I'm sold.
Yes, please do. Please do. Like I said, it's gorgeously photographed, and Criterion did a hell of a job. And I actually want to close out with a story about the producer who, well, not the producer, but actually it was made by Mel Brooks, of all people. What happened was, it's very interesting. The story of how this all energized was that the producer of the movie, who has a Q&A, he mentioned that his housekeeper gave him the script and said, "Oh yeah, my boyfriend wrote it." and he just put it in a drawer and didn't think about it until the housekeeper left and found another job. And then he took it out, read it, he loved it, and he said, "You know what? I'm going to give this to Anne Bancroft, who was Mel Brooks' wife at the time, and she actually has a key role in the movie, a very wonderful key role in the movie where she visits John Merrick at the hospital, and later there's a great scene in the theater. I'm not going to spoil, but so." The producer of the movie, Mel Brooks, got a hold of it and said, "Okay, I like the script, but I haven't seen this guy's movie, Eraserhead. I need to watch it." And they asked David Lynch to come down to show Eraserhead to Mel Brooks and the producer, and David Lynch is like, "No, I'm not going to do that. I can't do that." So the producer is, he sits down and he thinks, "Oh my God, I'm showing Mel Brooks Eraserhead. I haven't thought about the consequences of this." And like all throughout the screening, he's so nervous. It's like, "Oh no, this is not going to happen. This is not going to happen." But at the end of the screening, Mel Brooks just nodded his head at the movie and he's like, "I got it." He totally got it. And it was when the makeup was applied when he realized, "Oh, this is going to work. I can feel it right now." And it's amazing that, Elephant Man was nominated for 8 Oscars. It didn't win 1. And of course, makeup didn't exist at the time. A lot of people complained to the Academy, and rightly so. Why didn't you give the movie at least a makeup Oscar? And that led to the creation of the award for the next year, which of course was won by American Werewolf in London, Rick Baker's Werewolf Effects. But I mean, Mel Brooks deserves a huge shout out because he got it from the very beginning. He realized that this story is it's powerful, it's important, it's very true, and I mean, he definitely deserves all the praise in the world as well as John Hurt and David Lynch, and of course the makeup guy who is Christopher Tucker. So anyway, I got 3 digital codes here I want to give out, and let me just get my questions here. Okay, the first one that I want to give out is for Godzilla King of the Monsters. I know Lauren was a huge fan of that from last year, and the way we're going to do it is I got the chat open. And basically, the first person that answers the question correctly, I will send them the digital code either through Twitter or just say after the stream, and I'll shoot it to you. But anyway, here's the first question. Everybody out in Twitter ready to go? What was the tagline for Roland Emmerich's 1998 fiasco of a movie, which was Godzilla? What was the tagline for the movie?
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, why are you looking at
Nobody
that movie poster now?
It's right here.
I just got it. I just got it. Check the chat. I just got it. This one is gonna suck big, right?
Griffin.
You got it.
This iguana in my Godzilla movie.
Griffin got it. Yep, size does matter. Oh, yes. Yes, and indeed does matter.
Yes, it does.
Yes. That was.
Did the Canadian government send you that or something?
Thank you, Ryo.
You know what? When you collect VHS tapes, there are certain tapes that you will find in every box. There's Jurassic Park, there's The Phantom Menace, and there's Godzilla. I'm telling you, this thing you get Titanic's in there too. I got a copy of Titanic over here too. It's just.
I use my
you might as well.
for shotgun.
Unbelievable.
That's a good start to the Cameron collection.
There you go.
The second digital copy I have is for another Lauren favorite, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. Now, I
wouldn't really qualify that.
I know.
When is the storytelling autopsy on Jay and Silent Bob Reboot?
I actually really like
No,
that.
do it right now. Don't.
I like that.
I really did too. All right,
I
here's
love
this
Jim
trivia
Hughes.
question for Jay and Silent Bob. Who played the director of the Thaw movie within the movie Blunt Man and Chronic? Who played the director?
You're assuming anyone's going to want
The
this
movie
digital code.
Steak Sauce! Yay! Steak Sauce got it. Chris Rock.
He'll be sending
Chris Rock.
he'll be
Remember,
sending that code to
yeah.
Piz to do a review on it.
Oh,
He's gonna. Did I just give him the idea? Steak sauce.
You just brought that on, Piz.
Actually, I think I've seen that one. I think I liked it.
Don't do it. Save it, sauce.
Have you got
All
one
right.
more, Stone?
The very last, I have one last one and I'm done. Yes. All right. Now the last one I have is it has more than just the digital copy. Not only does it have a digital copy, but you also get the bonus features that are on the Blu-ray with the digital copy. So this is a big one. The movie is. I hope I'm not the only one here to have seen it. It's Ford versus Ferrari with Matt Damon and Christian Bale, based on the true story of these auto racers. I mean, I'm not a car guy. I've never been a car guy or a gearhead or anything like that. This movie was awesome, and it was definitely one of the best movies from last year. Well, here's the question. Now, Ford versus Ferrari won 2 Academy Awards. Before Ford versus Ferrari, there was only one other auto racing movie that won any Academy Award, and it won 4. What is the name of that auto racing movie?
It's got to be Stallone's Driven.
Yes, exactly.
Days of Thunder.
That movie,
It's got to be.
that
Right?
movie was so. That movie was. That movie was so shafted at the Oscars.
I mean, clearly it's Too Fast, Too Furious, right?
Yeah.
Oh, clearly, yeah.
No. Tokyo Drift. I forgot about Tokyo Drift.
Nico got it. Nico got it.
Congrats,
It's
Nico.
a Grand Prix from 1966 starring James Garner. It won 4 Oscars.
Oh wow.
Yeah, won 4
not
Oscars.
Herbie Goes
So there you
Bananas?
go.
Good job, Nico.
Get
Good job.
it.
Herbie Goes Bananas. I wish.
Watch or be punished.